So before I begin today's video, I'd like to state this for the record. This is going to be a long video. And also, all the things I'm about to mention is allegedly. Even though I'm just giving you stuff from the unsealed documents, you can't be too cautious, okay? So, without further ado, let's begin. So, Sean Diddy Combs was pinched early yesterday morning in New York. Now, he did come to New York because the prosecutor wanted him to be a little closer just in case they was going to do this. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team has already sieged his passports. And they, he was in a motel. They kicked down the door. They arrested him. They sent him to a holding facility, and he's awaiting, as far as his charges and things of that nature. Now, his legal team has pretty much said that, they were being very, they was being they was cooperating with law enforcement as far as seizing his passports. Their recommendation of him, coming to New York. And even in the bail, when Sean Diddy Combs wanted an opportunity for bail, the requirements that they were willing to do was like he was willing to wear an ankle monitor. He was willing to basically be under house arrest. He was willing to put up $50 million of his own money. He was willing to put his house as well as his mother's house, as collateral for the bond. And, the judge said that's clearly not enough. You're just going to be locked up until you'll be awaiting trial. Now, a lot of news outlets are saying that Sean Diddy Combs' reach was pretty long in the entertainment and music industry, and they was fearful that Sean Diddy Combs would tamper with their witnesses. A lot of witnesses feared Sean Diddy Combs. All right, they were in fear that Sean Diddy Combs would bribe most of these witnesses. Now, also in a lot of news outlets are reporting that Sean Diddy Combs bribed his security team to get the things that he wanted done. All right. And in this document, it's like a 14-page document. A lot of stuff in this document. Basically, Sean Diddy Combs. Let's talk about the charges. First of all, let's talk about the charges. I know for a fact there's no way around it. All right. The weapons possession. Now, they seized a lot of stuff in their raid a couple of months back, and they gathered a lot of evidence on Sean Diddy Combs. What the weapons that they gathered, the serial numbers were were erased off, which is a huge no-no. If you've been watching news recently, the country is not for this, gun violence and things of that nature, and illegally having guns. I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be hard for him to explain. I don't think anyone's going to take the rap for those guns. He's just the gun charges alone. He's going to be doing some serious time. All right. Some very serious time with the gun charges. Now, they also said they found drugs. Not only when they arrested him earlier this morning, they found drugs, but they also said they found drugs when they went to his house. Now, I don't know what type of drugs they found. Maybe cocaine, maybe heroin, whatever. It's illegal. And, the drug charges alone. This is a federal case, by the way. This is not done by the state. This is federal. And the drug charges alone, he's going to be doing some time just on that. Now, they're also accusing him of sex trafficking. And sexual, the SA, all right, with Cassidy. And a lot of people are coming forward about the SA and the X trafficking. Now, there was a person on CNN, someone that gives legal advice to CNN, and basically how she talked about the X trafficking. Let's just talk about the X trafficking, all right? And that's what she was talking about. She said the government is that's going to be hard for the government to stick on Sean Diddy Combs, because when you're talking about trafficking, uh, basically he's moving women around, and he's basically, let's just say he's just pimping out the women, but he was using them women. He was using a lot of those women and males for his own pleasure. Okay, it wasn't like he had an escort business and he made them into slaves and made them do things that they didn't want to do. And that was another thing she talked about. It's going to be hard for the government to convince a jury that he forced them to do what he wanted to do with them. They all got paid, all right? And no one pressed charges or anything like that until, the Cassidy thing. That's when you started seeing um, all these people trying to take him to court, all right? So that's another thing. Now she says, as far as the SA, they got video proof of him attacking Cassidy. Now that is a crime, but sexual assault that do carry some time in jail. That's just going to be added charges. Um, and when you look at uh retrospect, now the baby oil thing and the KY jelly thing, they said this man had a huge supply of this stuff. Everybody's making fun of him on social media, and everybody's asking him, why would he have so much lube? Why would he have so much baby oil? Why would he have so much KY jelly? Now, I'm on the outside looking in, and here's my 2 cents on that. I guarantee you that he was getting his drugs um, through that way, by ordering amounts of this lube and stuff, and maybe he was smuggling the drugs uh, with all this lube and baby oil. I mean, I know he's freaky, but I don't know if he's that freaky. Okay, so that's that on that. Now, it's still, that's kind of wild and kind of weird, but there's no law saying that he didn't break any law about having large amounts of lube. Okay, it's kind of weird, but it does paint a picture, an ugly picture about him, that he was so much of a sex freak. He had to have it. He had to have this lube and baby oil at home. All right. Now, another thing they got him with is this man had a lot of X tapes. I mean, a whole lot of X tapes. And wow, had a whole lot of X tapes. Okay. And it shows in these X tapes of these parties, these freak off parties. And not only he recorded himself pleasuring himself, but other people were on these tapes. Now, a lot of people are linking the Kardashians. They said Chris, is her name Chris Kardashian, the mother of Kim Kardashian? They say that she was on some of these videos, and a lot of people saying that the Kardashians have been very, very quiet. Now, this is allegedly, but they say Khloe Kardashian was on some of these sex escapades that they recorded, um, and they're accusing him of using this footage as blackmail to a lot of people. Okay, and some of these people have positions. Some of these people have corporations. When all this was going down today, there was a music mogul. I forgot his name, not Jimmy Iovine, but he stepped down from his company. So a lot of people are thinking in the next couple of days you're going to be seeing a lot of people either stepping down or being very, very quiet. All right. So that's that on that. All right. So, uh, uh, you know, th- that stuff alone is going to give him some serious, serious time. I mean, all these charges together, Diddy is, if he gets accused, if he is found guilty of all of these charges, he's going to be doing some serious, serious time. I don't see Diddy getting out of this anytime soon. All right. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Now, yesterday morning, his kids came, well, his sons came to his hearing. They saw in full effect the judge denying bail, and they apprehended him. He probably didn't have a lot of time to talk to his sons. Now, word around campus now, the government have seized everybody's passports. The sons, the daughters. I didn't think a 1-year-old can have a passport, but even the baby's passport is being collected by the federal government. So they say the reasoning behind that, and the reason why they want Diddy incarcerated or in a holding facility, because they don't want Diddy to tamper with all of their evidence, with all of their witnesses. Now, Diddy was a billionaire, last week. From my recollection, Diddy was a billionaire. I looked on Forge.com, and at one point he went down from a billionaire to he's like $700 million. Now, after he got locked up, the estimated value of Sean Diddy Combs is $400 million. Now, $400 million, that's a lot of money. That's life-changing money for 99.9% of the population. Okay? But you have to look at it from the state of Sean Diddy Combs and entrepreneurs like him. That's a huge, huge dip. For him to be a billionaire before all this stuff went down, to now he's arrested and he's waiting for his trial, his estimated value is down $400 million. Okay. And that explains why a lot of companies was leaving Sean Diddy Combs. All right. Oh, and by the way, in this document, they made it, I think, his legal, well, Sean Diddy Combs, I guarantee he, signed a lot of his estate, his money, his businesses to his family. And they said anything that they feel that contribute to these crimes that he committed on a lot of people, a lot of that stuff is going to be owned by the federal government, meaning any company that Sean Diddy Combs has up to now, or he, put it in his son's name or his daughter's name, or estates and things of that, his homes and or anything. Okay, they are going to sell that for pennies on the dollar. All right, so a lot of people think Sean Diddy Combs I think Sean Diddy Combs will have money, but he will not have the type of money that he's accustomed to in federal prison. And it kind of explains the recent events of Sean Diddy Combs up to this point. I mean, Sean Diddy Combs was spotted everywhere. He was in, he was going to a restaurant, eating a meal in a restaurant, walking on the beach, walking in New York City Park. This man was, he even went to New York City, met some people that he used to work with music wise. It explains why he was walking around like he's trying to enjoy the last bit of freedom that he has, because he even knew his faith then that he is not going to get out from under these charges. All right. Now, he did pleaded not guilty. All right. And to me, first and foremost, for you to keep all of that evidence, and after Sean Diddy Combs was a free man up to this point. Sean Diddy Combs, I'm pretty sure Sean Diddy Combs watches news. Okay, he's familiar with R. Kelly and what happened to R. Kelly. And with the ex trafficking and using his control and influence, and him storing these X tapes, and they allegedly, I'm got to use the word allegedly, even though they're X tapes, you can see it, him performing acts on younger women. You would think Sean Diddy Combs would know about that and be moving a little bit differently as a free man. And that happened in the early 90s. All right. Then you have Harvey Weinstein. They nailed him on the cross. All right. So just those two cases alone, Sean Diddy Combs should have been moving differently. He can use those two cases as references and go like, okay, I have done some things. I have recorded me performing, doing some things. Maybe I need to destroy some of this evidence, or move differently, change my lifestyle up. You already know that, you were recorded assaulting Cassidy, and that was years ago. Okay, this ain't like a couple of years ago. I think it was when they were in a relationship, almost a decade ago. So you would think Sean Diddy Combs would wise up and change his ways, but he didn't. Sean Diddy Combs refused. He refused to do it. He thought that he was so big. He thought he was so untouchable that the government was not going to apprehend him on anything. I'm pretty sure Sean Diddy Combs is familiar with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons did a lot of wrong things, and Russell Simmons fled the country. Okay? And Sean Diddy Combs is a monster. They're painting an ugly picture of Sean Diddy Combs as a monster. All right? And they want to put the monster on a silver platter for the world to see. And he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He's not going to have any money. They want him. He's going to die in prison. All right. So Sean Diddy Combs should have seen this outcome like 20 years ago. And he should have been moving differently 20 years ago. Now, I know, look, I'm not into what Glenn Deal is talking about, or Jaguar Wright, what she's talking about. And I know a lot of people are giving them their props because they say, oh, well, those two individuals been talking about this for years, and everyone thought that they were crazy. Is it just me? Because I didn't think that those guys were crazy. I was hearing those stories back in the day. All right. So I just don't understand why people are not familiar of Sean Diddy Combs' past. A lot of these accusations, a lot of the stuff that was in the documents, a lot of us knew decades ago. I don't understand why it's like they're the pioneers and they've been talking about this for years, and people call them quacks and crazy and all that jazz. All right. So, okay. So Sean Diddy Combs, there's no way out of this for Sean Diddy Combs. I think he's in the mindset of, look, I'm not getting out. I may dodge a couple of these charges, but the majority of these charges, they got me dead to right. And, I'm going to be going to prison for a long time. So I need to financially still take care of my family. I think family is very important to Sean Diddy Combs. And that explains why Cassidy settled so fast. And that explains why a lot of these victims are having lawsuits on Diddy, because they know Diddy is not going to have a lot of money. Diddy's not going to have they're not going to recoup a lot of Diddy's fortune. And the federal government is going to recoup a lot of Diddy's fortune. Now, I'm pretty sure Diddy prepared himself. I'm pretty sure he's got some offshore accounts. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the homes and businesses that he still keeps, business wise, I don't even know why anyone would still continue to do business with Diddy. But anywho, his homes, jewelry, I'm pretty sure he's putting all that in his family's name. And if you read the documents, and if you don't even want to read the documents, you can just go on CNN or CBS News. They're saying that the government's coming for that stuff. So that old trick, it ain't gonna work. They are labeling Diddy like a mob boss. Okay, they're painting the picture that Diddy is this monster that had power and control over everyone. They're painting him as a villain. They're painting him as a mob boss. He moved like a mob boss. They're trying to paint a very ugly picture of Diddy publicly. Okay. Now, what I'm about to say, people are going to think that I'm on Diddy's side. I'm not. Okay. Diddy should just rot in jail. Okay. But I guarantee that Diddy's legal team will want to move this trial someplace else, because they're not going to find a jury. They're not going to find jurors that's going to give him somewhat of a fair trial, because everybody knows Sean Diddy Combs. Sean Diddy Combs is a household name. And everybody knows most, if not all, of the stuff Sean Diddy Combs was accused of. And just yesterday alone, even more and more people are wising up to Sean Diddy Combs. He is not going to get a fair trial. Your jurors are going to be tampered with by social media, by other influences like television or their friends or their family. No one's going to come with the mindset of, what, let's see what they have, and let's just be fair and put our emotions to the side. All right. So that's one thing. I, I just don't see him getting out of this. And let me tell y'all something. I don't care how tough you are as a man. And this goes for I say about 90% of the male population. No man willingly wants to be locked up for the rest of their life. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how tough you are. 96% of males, would not go to prison, would have a difficult time swallowing the fact that you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life. I don't care how tough you are, mentally or physically, to I'm just throwing that out there. Now, a lot of people are saying he is so scared, he's going the extra mile to at least enjoy some freedom. Okay? Put yourself in that position. Okay? Like, everyone got to quit acting like life is the movies. Like everyone's Nino Brown. Or you a real G if, you just go to jail and wait for your trial. Okay? No man wants to uh, be in jail waiting for trial, particularly when you know that you're not getting out of this. You're not going to be totally exonerated from this, and you know for a fact that you're going to get some football jersey football size numbers. And yes, he did this to himself. He did it to himself. All right. And he deserves to be rotten in jail. But that's the point I wanted to make. I don't want people to think that I have a horse in the race. Anytime, to me, I don't care what type of male you are. I don't care if I like you or if I hate you. But if you're performing disrespectful acts towards women, I have a huge problem with you. All right. Particularly if you're using your will, your influence, and your money to continue to do it on someone that doesn't want it to be done on. All right. So also a lot of people are saying that the sons may be charged with something. I don't, and they said the sons were moving like father, like son. They were doing some of this stuff, and they were benefiting and reaping the rewards on some of this stuff. I don't know. They were not listed in the indictment. But you got to look at it like this: the federal government, there are some criminals that the federal government would say, okay, that's small time. We're not going to worry about that. Okay. If we can get the biggest one, the rest of them will fold. I think they already had their target sight on Sean Diddy Combs. And they want to use him for an example. And I'm telling you, when court is over with and he's found guilty and he spends the rest of his life in a federal prison, a lot of guys who are doing stuff like that, not on a large scale like Sean Diddy Combs, but somewhat in a smaller scale, they're going to reevaluate a lot of stuff. They're going to have second thoughts. I think what doomed Sean Diddy Combs is all of that evidence that they found in those two mansions in California. I don't know why you're holding on to this stuff. This stuff has no value to you. And in the right hands, this stuff that you're holding on to can be very damaging for you. Sean Diddy Combs snitched on himself, folks. All right. I think they would have a case even if Sean Diddy Combs would have gotten rid of the guns, got the drugs out of his home, the X tapes, if none of that stuff existed in that raid, they still would have prosecuted him with these charges. Now, it would be a little bit difficult for them to prove without a shadow of a doubt he's guilty, but I think by advertising this on television and on social media, he's not going to get a jury that's favorable towards him. All right, that is not going to happen. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on Sean Diddy Combs. He doomed himself, and hey, to anyone out there that's moving like this, maybe not on a larger scale of Sean Diddy Combs, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. So yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.